What's up, everybody? Welcome to Gaming Without Parole. My name is Bryan. Sitting across from me, the often ambidextrous. That's what it is, right?
Yeah, perfect.
Mike Zeller.
Yeah, I can use both hands. I think I'm genetically right-handed, but my dad's left-handed, so he taught me how to do everything left-handed. So basically what that means is...
Thanks, Dad.
Everything always feels a little awkward.
Yeah.
Like, nothing ever fits quite right.
Maybe that's my problem, too, because everything I do feels awkward as well. I'm definitely right-handed.
You're just, like, falling down the stairs every day. You get to the bottom, you're like, oh, thanks, Dad.
I'm just so awkward.
Yeah.
Mike, funny, I noticed that your guitar, or Joel's guitar...
Yeah, Joel's guitar.
...has been sitting in my bedroom for the better part of 3 months.
Yeah, we got to do something about that.
So I have to restring Mike's guitar, and in the middle of...
teach me how to play it.
And teaching... That's the easy part. The restringing, apparently, takes 3 months.
Yeah.
You could have been as good as me by now.
I know.
Which, again, only takes 3 months. It's funny because I took all the strings off, and then I was about to put new strings on, and I found out, and I was like, oh, these are my acoustic strings. I don't have electric strings currently available. And you would think that would be a simple solution with the amount of shit I order on Amazon constantly.
And there's a music store literally
next door.
Like, you could probably walk there in your underwear and not have, like, any kind of police issue because it's that close. Like, you could just out one door and in the other one.
Right. You know what else is close? Everybody who's stalking me now.
Yeah.
Luckily, there's nobody stalking me.
That's good.
Yeah.
For the moment.
Yeah, there's a lot of apartments around here.
Yeah.
Yeah. God, Mike, what do we do here on Gaming Without Parole?
We just like screw around a lot and waste everyone's time. Apparently,
that's what I do.
Yeah. Our original theme, and I always set this up with this qualifier as like our original theme. I'm always like apologizing for our theme,
and rightfully so.
Yeah,
we're sorry.
Yes, we originally set this up as two well-adjusted guys talking about making video games fit with their lives. And then we realized we were making two massive mistaken assumptions with that setup.
Well, if the audience figured those out.
Yeah, I think it's pretty obvious.
We have a smart audience. They're smart because they don't watch us.
Although, so I was thinking this afternoon, looking at the views we've gotten. Oh, by the way, that one episode where we got like 1 million views in a couple days.
1 million. It was 100.
Yeah. Comparatively. John, my friend John, and our occasional third co-host.
You'll be meeting John soon.
He I was apparently at a bar a couple weeks back, and was just like, everybody's gonna watch my friend's show, and they all like did it, I guess. So that's why. And
no one subscribed. So I guess that makes sense.
They didn't come back. Yeah.
They didn't like it, but they watched it.
No, but
I'll take it.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Because the only people that watch our show apparently are Konami's lawyers.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm sure I mentioned last week. Did I even mention it? Probably not.
Yeah. I thought it came up. Yeah.
So here's a tale of two companies. Konami, one of the biggest video game companies of the 90s. Yeah, we're sorry. You used to be awesome. Like they hit us with a copyright infringement notice for showing some of Symphony of the Night and Suikoden 2 on our favorite PlayStation 1 game episode. It's like, how dare you post video of your favorite games that are ours?
Yeah.
How dare you endorse games that just were released on the PlayStation Network that we could make serious money off of.
Promoting.
How dare we
didn't say
promote
anything but good things about
nothing
all
but
of
good
those
things.
games. We're giving them.
I even went out and I kid you not bought Suikoden 1 after our conversation.
Oh, really?
Just because I was like, I need to look into this a little bit more.
Yeah.
And I don't want to pay for Suikoden 2. So it like even our conversation got a new fan out of me.
Yeah.
So suck it.
Yeah. Well, Konami. I mean, maybe you're going to segue into this.
Oh, let's not talk about news of the week.
Okay.
Yeah. We'll get there.
Yeah. So we got more to say about Konami in a little bit. But I was thinking this afternoon. So by the time this episode airs,
sometime next year.
Yeah. Another episode of a different show will have aired. my cat will have been on America's Funniest Home Videos. So yeah, my cat. So
Go Patrick. Is it Patrick?
It's Patrick.
I didn't even ask.
Yeah, it's Patrick.
So rude of me.
That's okay. I accept your apology.
Hey, please send my apology to Patrick.
Yeah. So my cat will have been seen by for doing stupid cat shit will have been seen by millions of viewers across America, where we've been recording this stuff for
a year.
How long?
Longer.
And we're getting like 5 views a week. I had said to a friend earlier in the week, I don't even know why I bother trying anymore. It's like, I should just do stupid cat shit. Like, just put videos of cats up on YouTube.
For a second, I thought you were like, I'm going to put on some ears and a tail and run around and run into walls.
Why? Why the hell not? I bet I would get more views than our show. Next week, we should both show up in, like, full furry regalia and just not acknowledge it at all.
Don't fucking tempt me. I actually have a perfect guest host.
Oh God, I'm
that's
sure
the
you
case.
do. I'm sure you do.
Yeah, we didn't just meet.
No, oh man, that would be so hilarious. And we just don't acknowledge it for the whole. And then the next one, it's just like back to
normal.
business as usual.
Yeah, and then we lose all of our views.
I know. For that 1 week, you'd see in the Google statistics, there'd be this like huge spike.
All of the tags on the video will just be furries.
Yeah.
Furries.
Yeah.
So, tale of two companies. Konami, no likey the promotion.
No.
Yeah. Sly Dog Studios, who you may know or not know as the people who made the recent NES homebrew game, The Mad Wizard.
Oh, yeah.
So,
okay, yeah.
I was testing out this past week. Seeing if I could record myself and my voice playing a game and also record the video footage from the game at the same time. I was like, I've done variations on this theme, but I've never done like a Let's Play on the YouTube channel. So I decided to give it a shot, and man, was it a hassle to set everything up. But it was just a test more than anything.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, I'm going to edit it all together, and what the fuck, I'll upload it. And I was like, that's that. It's not a very good video. It's me kind of making an ass of myself, as I usually do. And I was like, well, maybe I should take it down. Maybe I should redo it. I was like, no, these are my genuine first impressions of a game I've never played. I'm like, let's just leave it alone. So yesterday, I wake up to my Twitter notification waking me up on my cell phone. I was like, oh man, I need to turn those Twitter notifications off, because it's always about somebody that like I like to follow, but I don't need to follow at 6 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, you don't need to hear that Louis C.K. had a totally sweet grinder at 3 in the morning.
Exactly. And I understand if you want to notify me when it involves me, when somebody responded to a tweet or retweeted something I did or favorited one of my tweets. Fine. It doesn't happen often. Let me know.
Yeah.
So Sly Dog Studios saw my Let's Play of their game and basically promoted the video.
Oh, nice.
Quoted me as saying, it's a great game. What an amazing quote by Bryan Paul. And linked the video on their Twitter account. Cool. And immediately it was retweeted by like 3 or 4 other companies, and it was favorited a few times.
Wow.
And I was like, holy crap. I'm like, this is the polar opposite of the Konami situation. I was like, I'm glad that people appreciate exposure sometimes.
Maybe that's what we need to do. Like, we just need to not talk about any game that actually like sells. Yeah. We need to just talk about these real niche stuff.
I would love to be like a homebrew exclusive podcast, because these are the games that these are games made by passionate people that are directly targeted toward people like you and me.
I just saw a notification this week. Well, Watermelon Studios sent me something last week talking about some glitch that's apparently in certain copies of Pure Solar.
For which console? It's on everything now.
Yeah, I think it's the Genesis one.
Okay.
And I was just like, okay, that's good to let me know. I bought that like 4 years ago, but okay.
I'll get around to playing it one day.
But what's that? What do they call NG Dev? The company the guys that make the new Neo Geo games just announced they're making a game called Krautbuster, which as a man of German ancestry, I guess I find a little offensive. Not enough to actually like get mad about it, but enough to be kind of like, Yeah. And it's totally like reskinned Metal Slug. Like it kind of looks like they're just like they sprite edited Metal Slug, which is kind of weird because usually their games are pretty high end. So
yeah, I like when it's not just a like kind of a hack like that. I like brand new games.
Yeah, and
I got to say, man, like you can I'm sure you didn't watch the video because no one really watched the video.
They just kept retweeting it.
The Mad Wizard is awesome.
It looked pretty cool. It looked kind of like Legacy of the Wizard. I wonder.
I didn't get that feeling from it, and I say this over and over when I played it, but you are severely underpowered when you start the game. Like you're just like there's a levitate button instead of a jump button. You can levitate and you can just stay in air as long as you want, but you can only move one square, then you fall down.
Oh, okay.
Eventually you power that up so you can move further.
Yeah.
But man, when you hit that levitate button and your character just goes. So somebody coming at you, you're like, get up there, get up there, get up there. Like the very first boss you encounter, it's like if you don't have perfect timing, you're getting your ass kicked. And I'm screaming at the TV. I'm like, fuck, like hitting my own face.
I still bet your Let's Play is leagues better than most of the other Let's Plays on YouTube that kind of start with a very off-putting voice saying something along the lines of, so here's my Let's Play.
I hate those.
I know!
And it's all staticky and distorted. I'm like, what are you using? What are you using to record?
Yeah. And it's like all of them.
Yeah, it's really bad.
You want to see me play video games?
And sometimes sometimes I understand like when it's a video from 10 years ago. I'm like, okay, no one had good tech like 10 years ago. I'm like, but if I can make this sound good, anyone can make anything sound good. Okay, I'm going to wrap up my talk on Mad Wizard real quick.
Yeah.
It's not a puzzle platformer like I thought it was.
That's good.
Because it looked like one. It's very much I hate using this term over and over, but very much a Metroidvania game. Okay. And it is awesome.
Oh, that's pretty cool. Maybe I'll look into getting it then.
Yeah, you can borrow mine. Because I do want to play it from beginning to end at some point. But yeah, I was very happy with the time I spent.
Cool. Very cool.
Watermelon's actually, I'm getting a Dreamcast version of Pure Solar.
Oh, yeah.
In the mail soon.
Yep.
Is it out?
I don't think it's out.
Maybe I pre-ordered. I don't know what I did. I'm like, here, just take some money.
Sure, here you go. Hey, it's a good game from...
Yeah. Well, the stupid thing is that I already have it on my PlayStation 4.
Oh, really?
I'm like, so I can play it with trophies in HD with a wireless controller. I just got it for the pure collector value. I want that on my shelf.
Yeah, the Genesis version's pretty cool, and it came in like the clamshell case and in like a sealed one of those.
I know.
Yeah,
I know. I want one. But and it also came. The original one came with the CD,
the soundtrack. Yeah,
which you could actually use in your Sega CD.
Yeah,
fucking awesome.
Yeah, you can. And even the one that I have, you get a code that you can download and the CD and burn it to your own. Because the Sega CD, all of those old CD systems, they're not like protected at all. So you can just put a burned disc in there.
All right, that was a good one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good seeing you, man.
Yeah, it's good seeing you.
What have you been playing this week?
Oh, just the same stuff that I'd been playing.
Well, thanks for making this. Yeah. Thanks for making this interesting.
Sorry. So pretty much just more Bravely Default and more Xenoblade, and I still have I enjoy both of them, but I don't ever really have a hard time turning them off.
Yeah,
you know, I was thinking of that today or a couple days ago. We've talked kind of about those types of games that you can't put them down, you know. And I feel like for both of us, kind of as we've gotten older, that's become fewer and far between. And when you find that, you're like, all right, this is awesome. Right.
Which is why I was shocked that Tearaway didn't grab you right away, because that was probably the last game I played that was like that for me.
Yeah. Maybe it's just I'm not feeling the vibe. I'm not gay
It's super cheery, man. It's like Katamari.
Yeah, but I like Katamari. I like that kind of stuff.
Yeah, but you're miserable.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm miserable. We're fucking miserable. Thanks for joining us.
On the Misery Podcast.
Right? This is the only time I laugh all week.
Yeah. You just save it up. But I like Bravely Default and I like Xenoblade, but there usually will come a moment when I'm playing where I'm just like, all right, done. I do not feel like doing this next dungeon.
Yeah.
You know, I don't
or
feel
you
like
die once and you're like, not worth
done.
it.
Yeah, exactly. Which I guess is better for my lifestyle. You know, I'm a pretty busy guy these days.
Sure.
I probably shouldn't be having, 8-hour gaming marathons.
Yeah, but there's a great feeling like when
Yeah.
you finish a game, you're like, I did something. I completed something. Like, it's not like building a house for Habitat for Humanity, but it's close.
I thought you were going to say, like, it's not like that crap. Like, there's how many more homeless people? They all need houses. We're not
Well,
getting
I've played
anywhere.
a lot of video games, but I've never built a house for a homeless person. So guess what I prefer? I think we all know that answer. I'm too proud about these things. Too proud about my hatred for humanity.
Or not proud enough, maybe.
Ooh, we're gonna
think about
took
that.
a strange turn. Right, Mike. I got to tell you what I played this week.
Okay.
I played. So apparently, there's a game that came with this demo, but I'm unaware of exactly what it entails.
Okay.
But I played the Final Fantasy 15 demo, and I might be the only person that's walking away from this like not terribly impressed. I think I just don't like. There's a few things I don't like about it.
Okay.
Let's get that out of the way. First of all, the character designs, they are so Final Fantasy VII.
They're not gay enough.
They are so gay. There's like there are 4 guys, and they're on a road trip, and they're hanging out. And if they're not fucking each other, then I don't know what's going on in this road trip, because these are the 4 gayest Final Fantasy characters ever made. Nothing wrong with that. But it doesn't make any sense. Like, I'm like maybe one of them can be kind of effeminate, but it just, all of them are just so, like, the hairstyles are just so perfect. And there was a time where this worked. You know, there was a time during the Super Nintendo era when it was all cartoony, and there was even the PlayStation 1 when, you're still using the super deformed characters, and even the cutscenes were still like, kind of CG. But the more realistic things get, it doesn't feel right anymore. And I hate to say this, but you know who you are. The only people loving this demo on my Facebook friends list are the gayest friends that I have. Maybe I'm just not gay enough to like it.
Maybe.
That's
you got to work on that.
That's the first thing. Second, it shouldn't be Final Fantasy 15. It should have been called Final Fantasy Versus 13 or whatever the hell it was called originally, because it's an action game. You just run around and beat shit up. Like the same way I feel like 11 and 14 shouldn't have been called 11 and 14. They should have been online 1 and 2. Square, I feel like Square thinks they're duping people. And they're like, we're going to make them spend money on this main canonical Final Fantasy game. But if we call it something else, they won't buy it. I was like, yeah, but if you call it something else, at least you'll give us the right impression about what it is. It does not feel like Final Fantasy. I don't understand why they're calling it 15.
Yeah, which is funny because then you see stuff like Bravely Default, which is Final Fantasy. Like, it's got all the same spells and monsters and everything, but they called it Bravely Default.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
I don't know. I think that I'm going to assume they're probably just trying to like recapture a larger core audience, and that's the only way they're going to do it.
Yeah, well, it's what you said about the character designs is kind of funny.
And no offense, I'm gay. I don't care. Mike's not, but but we still hate gay people.
Yeah.
No, it's rough, man. It's rough. I mean, I want you to play this because it's uncomfortable. Like they're all camping out together and stuff,
and they're all in the same sleeping bag.
and like one of them's cooking a meal for the rest of them. And it's not just like camping food meal. It's like
soup's on, boys.
Right? It's like a nice meal, and I'm like, oh my god. I'm like, it's like you were way too prepared for this camping trip. It's uncomfortable. Yeah.
Yeah.
In random battles, man, just too many of them. I don't know.
I don't even know where to go from there. I was going to say stuff about the character designs.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do feel like they have begun to cater, and I think this happens with a lot of niche types of markets that then get really broad and start to almost wonder if they're losing their focus. Mm-hmm. They then cater to this very specific niche, because I know what you're talking about, and I can picture the exact type of anime convention attendee that would like eat that shit up.
Right.
That would be all over that.
Absolutely.
And it's the female version of the same anime of the male version of the anime fan that has like body pillows and shit.
Oh, body pillows. I'm suddenly liking this whole idea better.
Yeah.
And they wear too much leather. I'm like, you're running around in the sun, man. I'm like, that can't be comfortable. It's like squeaking and stuff.
Smell.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. You know, I feel like I derailed this way too fast.
No, that's we weren't on the tracks to start with. We're sitting in the junkyard.
I do hear though that Final Fantasy Type 0 HD is awesome.
Yeah, it's good.
With I guess some bad camera issues and stuff, but I mean, like,
it's a
who cares?
PSP port,
right? Right. But I mean, like, a super emotional story, I guess.
Yeah, and I was surprised they went with the M rating too. It seems really bloody.
Oh, is it?
Yeah,
I didn't even know that. Like,
yeah,
that's the other thing. Who notices these things anymore? Like when I was a kid, like it was the be all end all.
If you're 14, I bet you notice because
your parents won't buy it for you. Yeah, or the game store won't sell it to you.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I've never cared about ratings. I think when I was a kid, like my parents were pretty strict about it. But yeah, I mean, it wasn't long after the rating system was introduced. I mean, I think maybe I was 14 when the ESRB came around, so I was getting real close to be able to buy whatever I wanted anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel bad for kids these days. Kids with their iPhones and their tablets. I feel bad for all of you.
Yeah, you have so little access to mature content. Yeah, I will admit that ratings do seem a little arbitrary when in the age where about 3 button presses can get you just a world of pornography, a world of hair-raising pornography.
I'll get it down to 1 button press. And there it is.
Oh, no!
Yeah.
Yeah, I do pay attention to ratings just because I think, kind of like movie ratings, they're fascinatingly off base.
Yeah.
You've got people, and I would actually say game ratings might be even worse. They probably have all the same kinds of racist, homophobic, sexist, people choosing the ratings, except they're not even playing the games. At least the people who rate films most of the time
usually watch
have to see the movie.
Right, but that's like an hour and a half venture, maybe 3 hours max. For a game, I was surprised to find out that game developers just have to submit all of the bad stuff in writing to the raters.
And a clip. They do have to send a clip highlighting the things that they might think would be Man, what a great vault that must be, media vault. You just have the walls after wall after wall of all the objectionable material in every video game.
Yeah,
I'm just picturing like from the Clockwork Orange, where they got the guy's eyes open and he's strapped into the chair, just watching like ream after ream of decapitations and awkward sex scenes. And
when our civilization is long gone and aliens discover that vault, they'll
be like, good riddance.
What a depraved species.
Oh, what?
But then they're like, I'm getting some ideas from
this. Yeah. Then there's like the one guy in the back. You guys go on ahead. I'm just gonna clean up this place a little bit more. We're gonna just check around. I think I saw some artifacts.
So I want to play Type 0.
Yeah, I heard it's good.
Yeah, I feel like it's a much better balance than Final Fantasy 15.
Yeah, probably.
It's got like a common sense story. I do feel like 15 is going to bring in a lot of new gamers, though. And I think that's, unfortunately, for the rest of us, I think it was a smart move by Square. It'll be interesting, and it's not all bad. I wasn't like, oh my god, this is dog shit. I had a few gripes, and honestly, I'm weirded out that it doesn't run better, like on the PlayStation 4.
Well, it's a demo, so
it's a demo, but it's supposed to be a vertical slice, supposed to give you an idea of what the full game will be like. I just feel like I don't know, the graphics are nice, but they're not amazing, and I just thought the whole thing could run a little bit smoother. I don't know. I wasn't terribly impressed.
Oh well.
Yeah. And I haven't been playing anything else. Mad Wizard, I get a bunch of Turbo stuff in the mail. Yeah. I don't have time for anything.
Yeah, who has time for gaming nowadays? We're too busy talking about gaming to go play video games.
I'd much rather talk about games. It's way more fun.
Yeah.
I did get my new Mario amiibo.
Oh, nice.
Because I tried to cancel my Mario Party, is it 10?
Yeah.
Wii U pre-order. I tried to cancel it, and I thought I was going to cancel it in just enough time, but it was already shipping when I decided I didn't want it anymore. So now I have it.
You tried to cancel it, and Amazon was just like, come on, Bryan. Who are you kidding? You can buy this now, or you can pay a 30% markup in a couple of weeks.
Yeah. I mean, and honestly, if it didn't come with the amiibo, I wouldn't have even thought of getting it, which I think is why they did it. Like, everybody likes amiibos. Who likes Mario Party? Strangely,
people with friends.
Yeah, maybe that's the difference. I watched the Let's Play on YouTube, and because I was like, "Oh, I don't have friends."
Of your brand new game, like,
Well, exactly. I was like, "I don't have friends, so I'm gonna have to watch people who do play it," and they didn't have fun either. They were like, "What did you get us into?" I was like, "Oh, I'm glad I don't have friends because if I did, I would have alienated them by bringing them over and making them play this game." Yeah.
Oh well.
All right, Mike. A lot of shit happened this week.
It did.
Good stuff, bad stuff. Let's start with my favorite stuff.
Okay.
Sony announced that MLB The Show 14. You know, we all love sports games.
Oh yeah, that's our focus here.
Yeah. Now 14. This is last year's baseball game. The new one.
That was going to be our other name for the podcast. The ball tossing guys.
The new one. Nice.
See,
it didn't register. Yeah. Now it did. March 31st. Their new MLB The Show 15 is coming out. So to celebrate that, they're cutting all online support for 14.
Awesome.
Like it hasn't quite been a year yet. It hasn't quite been a year. Now I've already got an issue with games that have online components as like a majority share. But when they cut the support for it that early, it just makes me hate the whole genre even more.
Yeah, it's...
There's no Nintendo game that you can pick up now and say, well, this is missing half of its features. NES.
Yeah. It's definitely... We've talked a lot about...
disposable media.
Yeah. Well, neither of us, I think, are real doomsayers about the medium, but we both also, I think, admit that it's going in some directions that maybe don't have the best payoff at the end, and the online component is kind of one of those double-edged swords. I think, I mean, whenever I've played online with strangers, it's been horrible. But whenever I've played online with people I know, it's great. And it's a great, I've been playing online, playing Smash Brothers with my brother online. And it's great. I don't get to see him that often, so this is a way we can, interact. I play Dark Souls and Demon Souls online with John a lot, and that's a, great way that we get to interact.
Right.
But when that stuff goes away, especially, I've been thinking a lot about Dark Souls, especially. I mean, there's still a decent game there, but so much of what I have enjoyed about that game has been the cooperative, the online experience. And when they finally close down those servers, that's a huge loss to those games.
Absolutely. And I think sports games are sort of in their own category when it comes to this stuff.
Yeah.
Because obviously what Sony cares more about now than anything else when it comes to the Show 15 is selling the Show 15. Yeah. And if people go, oh, I can't play online on 14 anymore, I better get the new one.
Yeah.
It seems like kind of a douchebag move.
Yeah, we're just that much closer to a subscription model for that one game.
Right.
Might as well just call it a massive online sports game.
Right, and we know that like everything's going free to play now. Like it doesn't work for anything but really the highest top tier. What?
I just had the best idea. Massive multiplayer online sports game. But
can I just pay to be in the stands?
It's like so it's like an MMO. You can walk around and stuff.
I want to be the guy selling hot dogs.
Yeah, and you can but you can leave the stadium and go across the street, and there's like a football stadium. So you're like, I'm sick of playing baseball. I'm going to go play football. You just walk over there, put on some pads, get on the team, and you're good to go. So great.
There can be a kid's version of this where it's just a playground.
Yeah.
You get bored of playing games, you can go in and take a class.
Start putting sand in your pants. That's what I used to do. Or eating grass.
Yeah, God, I hope nothing ever goes in that direction.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No,
Continue.
I don't know what I was talking about.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
No.
None of this matters.
Yeah, so, I mean, the sports example is, I think, the example I care the least about. Because A, I don't play sports games, but B, there is a yearly upgrade. And I think that kind of comes with the territory. If you've ever played a Madden game, you know that it's one of a million Madden games.
Yeah.
You know that next year there's going to be a better one that replaces it. Usually better, not totally. So I'm almost okay with this. And it's sort of, I'm almost okay with it just to kind of laugh at everyone who has to buy the new one. Now, what I'm not okay with is when games like, I don't know, Starhawk, which was 100% online, where there is no single player component, when those servers shut down, what a bunch of fucking useless plastic we're left with.
Yeah.
Like, you put it in, like, you're like, I can't even do anything with this game anymore. If there's at least a solid single player component, like the Call of Duty games, let's say, you can go back and play those.
Yeah.
But when there's nothing left to play once they shut the servers down, I mean, that's sad. That's just, that game goes away forever.
Yeah, well, I mean, any MMORPG, that's kind of the same thing. Like, what happens when those shut down? And not only that, but these people have put in,
so much time.
Thousands and thousands of hours into shaping this digital avatar, and it's not like you can just download it onto your machine.
It's so true. It's very true.
Yeah, online is definitely a double-edged sword, and it's got some great aspects, and there's some baggage with it too.
I will say, I think this is the first time I've seen it happen this quickly.
Yeah,
which is probably why it's newsworthy.
Yeah, no, it is, because I know you said neither of us really care about sports games, but these are the types of things where if this works, then it's going to be the Call of Duty games, then it's going to be
The Last Guardian.
Yeah.
Where the fuck is it?
Yeah, it's going to be an MMO sports game.
Yeah.
Griffin Ball.
Sometimes I don't know why I get out of bed.
Yeah, sometimes.
Most of the time. I almost didn't even anyway, let's move on.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is a big one. But for some reason I don't think terribly surprising. Hideo Kojima and Konami, the great publisher of video games from the 90s, are parting ways.
Gotta love that Super C.
Yep. Parting ways after Metal Gear Solid 5, The Phantom Pain, has been completed.
I love... So the way that I read about this was that suddenly just all of their promotional materials for all the Metal Gear stuff just like eliminated him. It was like suddenly they just tried to like Gestapo style erase him.
Yep.
They're like, Hideo who? I don't know what you're talking about.
Yep.
Which is hilarious because I really can't think of a single more high profile figure in the video game industry right now.
Neither can I.
And they're just like, what? No, nobody by that name here.
But you know what? Like, I'm assuming that if you stay with a company that long, because, I mean, all of his life he's been with this company, he must be paid a fortune.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's any secret that Japanese developers are not doing that well.
Yeah.
So I'm sure he's asking for more money. They're not going to give it to him. And to be completely honest, I don't fucking care. Like, I don't think Hideo Kojima has brought that much to the table since, like, Metal Gear Solid 2.
Since Police Knots?
Since Police Knots. No, but I mean, like, this is, like, an entire generation and a half has gone by where I just haven't cared about anything with his name on it. It's... Boktai was awesome. Zone of the Enders 2 was awesome. And everything past Metal Gear Solid 2 I just haven't fucking cared about. And it's because all of his storytelling just gets bigger and more obnoxious.
Yeah, he's got George Lucas disease.
He does. And so I'm hoping this means two things. A, we know that Konami has already said more Metal Gear games coming. And so he's just not involved anymore. Fine. So we get the games we want. We probably get them with a new director that maybe can control his editing skills.
Yeah.
And also, maybe, I'm assuming Kojima is going to open his own studio. And maybe with a smaller budget. And maybe we'll get back to some of the games that made him famous.
Yeah, I think for Kojima, at least, this is probably the right move.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's gonna. I mean, I think you're right. The potential to get some quality Metal Gear games has gone up significantly, but I'm not so sure financially distancing themselves from, like I said, the probably highest profile figure in the gaming industry. I mean, if it was like you said and he was asking for more money, I mean, I hope it was fucking outlandish. Because otherwise, like, they really should have just paid him whatever he wanted.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know.
But
what kind of clout does he have with fans anymore? Like, I mean, are people still like, this man is God?
Yeah.
Really?
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, just because
it's a more divisive issue now than it's ever been.
Because
I think at a certain point, almost universally, he was considered amazing, and now I think it's tougher to find people who still consider him flawless.
Yeah, but you definitely still do. I mean, those games still have a lot of cultural clout in the community. I mean, they still sell real well. They still even review pretty well.
True.
It's kind of like what you were saying earlier about Final Fantasy. Like, I totally get why. Like, it's off-putting to both you and I, but they're targeting a very specific group that is going to eat that up. Like, there are people that just eat up, Kojima's, or they drink his Kool-Aid. They're down with it.
I understand. I mean, I'm still waiting for The Last Guardian.
You are the president of the iCarly fan club.
I am. I know.
Here it comes.
Yeah, no, that was just a teaser.
Yeah.
Somehow the world will change.
You need to do like some
so
really
wonderful.
You need to do some really involved like music video with this, with like special effects and stuff.
Live life, breathe air. I know somehow we're gonna get there and be so wonderful.
See, now we're gonna get hit with a
cease
and desist from iCarly because you sang the whole theme
No, I didn't.
song.
I didn't sing the heart of the song.
The heart of the
It's no. No, not going to happen. Okay, moving on. I can't wait to see what Kojima does next. I can't wait to see what happens to Silent Hills. Yeah. It was the only Konami game I was interested in seeing, and I mean, I hope it just becomes better now.
Yeah, it. I think it'll be good. Like you said, getting him with a lower budget, I think he tends to be more creative. I mean, you see some of the stuff that he did with Snatcher, with Police Knots, with the early Metal Gear games before they were, hugely popular. And he was good. He did good work. Yeah. It was only when he kind of bought into his own hype that things got a little out of hand.
All right. Next up, God of War 3, the pinnacle of the series.
I like the second one the best.
I think they're all garbage. The first one was okay. The second one was great. I like the wings.
Yeah, the second one was good. I like that.
It's good.
Yeah,
whatever. They're remastering it, bringing it to PlayStation 4.
Man, you were totally right when you said, why are we having all of these HD remastered of games? What I love is they did an HD Final Fantasy X and X-2 bundle. Yep. And I was like, okay, that's a little redundant. Again, this just came out on the PS2, and now they're doing an HD remastered bundle for the PS4, and it's like, how much do we,
I know. Actually, I got it for the Vita because I was like, oh, it's cool. I can play this, on the go, and maybe if I just leave it in the bathroom, I'll finally get around to beating that game. And then I saw it for the PS3 and PS4. This is so out of control. But honestly, I know that Square probably needs money, a lot of money. So if this is what they need to do, then by all means. Yeah,
this is what's funding Final Fantasy 15. They need more money to put into realistic anime guy hair.
Yeah, totally. The God of War news, and I think it's coming out soon. I think it's July 14th. It's a couple months. Now, I think Sony's not in trouble because they're doing great, but this year is looking pretty rough for them. the order came out and it was not
got pretty savaged.
It was not awesome like we wanted it to be, like I wanted it to be, like everyone wanted it to be. And so the only real awesome game now that Uncharted 4 has been pushed to 2016.
Oh wow!
Yeah, the only awesome game they have coming out this year is like next week with Bloodborne. Not even next week; it's like 3 days away.
Yeah.
Pre-ordered. So what that leaves us the rest of the year with kind of nothing. Plenty of third-party games and plenty of indie games, but like, where's that? We're in the second year of the console's life cycle. Like, we're supposed to be hitting some awesome titles right now.
Well, it's crazy to me too. We're still seeing major releases released on the older consoles. Like, you're still getting Xbox 360 and PS3 ports of things, and they're not that bad. Like,
right. Oh, well, I mean, those consoles are aging well.
Yeah.
But
I've never seen, usually in the first couple of years you'll get, or in the first year or so, a handful of major games will get back kind of downported. It's like 90% or 75% at least of everything is still getting a version for older systems.
Yeah, I think that's why the Dying Light cancellation was such a surprise for me. But yeah, I think God of War, I think they're just trying to like sort of fill in all that blank space with, oh hey, if you didn't have a PlayStation 3, then you missed out on this game from 7 years ago. And
remember God of War? Yeah, I just played that.
But literally, I think it was like 7 years ago. It was early.
It was an early PS3 release.
Yeah, and it looked nice. But I guess for people who didn't play it, I guess it'd be cool.
Yeah. I mean, they've also been like repackaging those games a ton too.
So much. They repackaged the two PSP ones for HD ports for the PS3, and they repackaged God of War 1 and 2 for the PS3, and then they repackaged all four of them together. Yeah. And then this.
Yeah.
It's like
it's a little bit overkill. As much as
are we trying to pad David Jaffe's retirement fund? Is that what's going on? Does he even get money from God of War anymore?
I don't know. But you and I have talked about that we don't like it when games disappear from the marketplace. We like it to be
sure.
But conversely, when it feels like you're being flooded to the point that you can't even keep track of the releases, it's a little bit much.
Yeah, you can play God of War in an infinite number of ways.
Yeah,
I'm
sure at this point, if you own some kind of Sony device, you can play most of the. Even if you've got one of those old like Palm Pilots,
nice.
You can play some kind of God of War.
Oh my goodness! All right, here we go. This one's awesome. Due to a shortage of male blood donors in Denmark, soon in Copenhagen, you'll be able to donate blood. You'll be able to buy the game Bloodborne with your own blood.
Wow. That's kind of ghoulish.
Yeah. Donate blood, get Bloodborne.
I'd probably do that.
So would I. Yeah. I'd be like, can you take all of the blood for the collector's edition?
Yeah, and I really don't like having my blood drawn, but I might do it for that.
Are you an organ donor?
I have to check my driver's license.
That would be a no.
Probably not.
Yeah, I'm not. People get mad at me for it. I was like, I'm taking all of this with me. And plus, all of it's probably broken.
Yeah, I don't know if they want.
No, they don't. They don't want
yours.
It. No, they don't want it. So for any of our Denmark listeners,
seriously, like you should get Bloodborne. It's pretty easy at this point.
Also, for our Denmark listeners, there are better podcasts you could be listening to right now. What do they speak over there? Dutch? Is that a language?
God.
Is that a language? Oh no!
I'm gonna look so stupid. Why did you put?
Welcome to my world.
I know. I try to hide it.
You hide it better than I do. Yeah. We'll edit it in later. I'll just throw it up in the bottom of the screen.
It might be Norwegian.
It's not a language.
Yeah, it is.
Norwegian is a language?
Yeah. I'm pretty sure. I mean, that's
once had a girl, or should I say, she once had me.
Yeah. Well, that's my ex-girlfriend used to study Old Norse, which I believe is the language that predates current.
Now we look really dumb.
I know.
Yeah. If you were right, I look really dumb.
We'll just
edit
this
the language
out.
You speak.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I'm editing all of that out. I'm not editing it out.
Try so hard.
All right, so we actually had good, well, weird, awesome, crazy, never thought it was going to happen news happen this week.
Okay.
Nintendo is teaming up with a Japanese company named DNA. It doesn't look like DNA when you read it.
It's
it looks
D-N-E. It's Dene or something, isn't it?
Oh, it's pronounced DNA, but it's written, D, capital D, lowercase e, capital N, capital A. DNA. Yeah. So they're teaming up with DNA to make smartphone games. Yeah, basically. They did talk later and say that it's still primarily going to be Nintendo developed, which is a great thing.
That's a big... Yeah, because when they first announced it, I was like, I don't know, Nintendo, or I should say, the world has a pretty bad track record when it comes to Nintendo or games developed by people that are not Nintendo using Nintendo characters.
Yep.
That historically goes
horribly.
Badly.
Yeah. Horribly. So glad that's not happening. But yeah, Nintendo games on smartphones?
Yeah.
Wow. So here's the first thing I think of. Nintendo, more than graphics or even innovation, they're really known for tight controls. I feel like every platformer they've ever made has been like, it's a reason it's so good, because it feels right. And I can't imagine playing a game on a smartphone, made by Nintendo even, that feels right.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
I think their stock skyrocketed after this announcement. Who's clamoring for this stuff? Like, anybody who wants a Nintendo game, that's what
I've heard tons of people say they would love to have Pokemon on a smartphone.
See, Pokemon kind of makes sense, but like a platformer doesn't make sense.
Well, I mean, I would assume that Nintendo would try to cater things because to the platform. I read some really good stuff about this over on US Gamer, which you should probably be reading that instead of listening to us.
Yeah. Wait a minute, you have a part in US Gamer. I have no part in US Gamer.
Well, very, very tangential.
Sporadically, you'd pop up on there.
I popped up on 1UP. So I haven't made an appearance on US Gamer yet.
I take it back.
Yeah.
Edit it out. Not editing it out.
The thing that Nintendo has always done a pretty good job at is managing their brands. There hasn't been a lot of, we were just talking about God of War and how it's felt kind of overwhelming. Like it's never with Nintendo really felt overwhelming. You've never felt like I can't keep track of these things. They're just coming out too fast and too.
You just described amiibos.
Well, that's a little different.
Yeah.
So I would assume that Nintendo would not just be like, here's shitty Zelda, enjoy, you know. And because they know, that's what's keeping them afloat is that they have such a good reputation. On the other side, though, I have definitely noticed a willingness with Nintendo recently to start engaging in a little bit of microtransactions.
Yep.
Or at least to allow that on their platforms. One of my favorite things about Bravely Default, you can actually pay real money to get extra turns during fights.
Okay.
Yep.
Weird.
It's pretty much
pay to win.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And
I don't like that at all.
No, I don't like that either. And I've seen little things like that popping up here and there.
I'm not terribly concerned, and here's the reason. Smash Brothers got a shit ton of DLC for free.
Yep.
They could have easily charged for that. They could have charged a lot for that.
Yeah.
The Mario Kart tracks I bought, which had new characters, new bikes, new everything, and a lot of new tracks. I think $7 or something like that.
Wow.
It was like double the size of the game. It's like Nintendo's smart.
Yeah.
I don't think they don't want to alienate their fan base, and I think it's kind of time that they got into it a little bit. They need to be able to make money the way the rest of the industry does.
Yeah.
So. Good for them for being responsible about it, and of course, Bravely Default. It's on their platform, but
it's not a Nintendo
them.
game.
So, I have faith that these are strides they're taking in the right direction, and hopefully they won't abuse, customer loyalty.
Yeah, I do have to say, on assessing my initial reaction to this story, it would have been substantially more negative if it was any other company.
Absolutely.
Like if I mean, yeah, any other company, I would have been like, well, that's the end of them. Like, well, so much for that, or that's the end of them in the form that they're in right now.
Nintendo overthinks everything. Nintendo takes time before they jump into a new market. I mean, they were the last ones online.
Yeah,
by far.
Yeah.
So I have faith that they've researched this. This is not a knee-jerk reaction to the Wii U. I think they know what's going on.
Yeah, I'm cautiously optimistic, I'll say.
Yeah. I don't know how much interest I have in it, but if it saves Nintendo and it keeps them going for the next 100 years, then awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. The other thing that they said over at US Gamer is some of them suspect this is Nintendo kind of testing the water for releasing their own sort of quasi-mobile platform.
Yeah, like their own phone.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. Which, I mean, not a horrible idea.
No.
I mean, Nintendo's kind of like that weird company like Apple that could actually, that could make this work.
Yeah, yeah. They have a really good hardware reputation.
Yeah, absolutely. Speaking of Nintendo hardware and new Nintendo hardware, they also announced during the same meeting that they're developing the NX, which is their next generation hardware concept. Now, we're supposed to see more details later this year. Unlike the mobile games that are actually going to start coming out this year, we probably won't see NX for a while.
Yeah.
Now, here's something that strikes me about this news. They didn't say anything about the platform.
Yeah.
But it's called NX. N obviously has to stand for Nintendo.
Yeah.
And in Japan, oftentimes they use the letter X for the word cross. So, I feel like, potentially, this could be what we all thought the Wii U was going to be, where it's some sort of crossover platform between mobile and home, and mobile and handheld and home console.
Yeah.
And so, just like the Wii U tablet, you're playing a game on that at home, and then you can just take it with you. And maybe it'll be a phone.
Yeah, well, that's what I was thinking. And I was also just thinking, hey, this would be what finally got me to buy a smartphone.
Yeah, Nintendo's behind the world on online, and you're behind the world with your phone tech.
Yeah.
Yeah. Every time you text me, my immediate thought isn't, oh, I wonder what he said. It's, I wonder how long it took him to text all these words.
I'm pretty fast with it now, but it's like, press.
I understand when I get one-word responses from you because I'm like, that took a while.
Yeah.
But when it's a full thought,
that probably means I was on the toilet.
A bad taste in my mouth.
Sorry.
Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna start. My responses to your text are now gonna be video responses. Me on the toilet. Which you won't be able to watch.
I won't be able to open. It'll just say
smartphone.
media file can't process.
Wow.
Be like, thanks, old shitty phone, you saved me.
Yeah, how great would it be to have an iPhone with just a couple, two little analog sticks and a few buttons?
Although that's now making me think of that N-Gage. Remember the N-Gage?
You mean with the side talking?
The side talk, yeah.
That shit was awesome. I want an N-Gage.
Every once in a while, I actually own a couple N-Gage games because they were selling them somewhere for $1 a piece, and a couple of them were reviewed pretty well.
Yeah, strangely.
But the N-Gage is still kind of expensive. Any secondary market, it's still $60 or $70. I don't know. Old phones sometimes they're kind of like old stereos. I think certain people like the older models.
Sure. And some people just can't get enough of... There was a Tomb Raider game on that, right?
I think so, yeah. There was a Call of Duty, too.
Yeah. There was a Resident Evil game on a mobile platform, and it might have been that. And it was just one of those things that was never released anywhere else. I was like, Mom, I have to hunt that down at some point.
There's a mission for you. But yeah, that would be really cool. I would definitely... I could see Nintendo kind of taking the Apple route in that regard.
Yeah, they definitely They have that same weird kind of innovative. Like they don't release a new console without it being something weird now.
Yeah.
You know, even going as far back as, I mean, I guess even the N64, the controller was kind of weird with the analog stick in the middle, and you had to hold it all weird. And then the GameCube controller was the strangest looking thing I'd ever seen. Yeah. And then the Wii was like a total revolution.
I mean, the Wii totally changed the landscape.
Yeah, got my grandmother playing video games. Not my grandmother, but most people.
Yeah. I was bowling, Wii bowling with my family a number of times with grandparents and stuff.
Right on. Yeah. Excellent. All right, Mike. What now? All right. Well, that's all we have for you this week. We're going to get hopefully back on our regular scheduled topic of the week, starting maybe next week.
Yeah,
we'll see what happens.
Yeah, we'll get some interesting things to say. Maybe we should just have like a story of the week. Each of us.
But then we need to go out and make something happen. Yeah,
interact with. Well, I have a few backlogged that I could trot out. Yeah.
Backlogged.
Whoa! Cross promotion.
I still haven't played Demon's Crest.
Oh man,
far behind.
I know, and that's a great game.
Right? Oh, I'm so excited to play it too. And there's other games I want to play for backlogged, and that's clogging the drain. Clogging the drain?
Yeah, that
works.
Yeah. Okay. That's what you do.
Okay, I mean, that's what I do.
Yeah.
Anyway. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any comments for us, please leave them in the comments below. Right down there.
Right down there.
And if you're from Denmark, let us know what you speak.
Yeah, and get us some copies of Bloodborne. I bet there's an English language version on that.
Can't be Norwegian.
Yeah, I don't think Dutch.
I could have looked it up in all this time.
Yeah.
Anyway, for this week of Gaming Without Parole, I'm Bryan Paul.
I'm Mike Zeller.
And we'll probably see you next week.
Hopefully.
Okay.